Jai Sat Jai
Jai
Sachitanand. Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachitanand.
Jai Sachidanand Gavi and
Jai
dear
Sachidanand, Chua, Jai
Patricia.
Sachidanand Pati.
Jai Sachitanand.
Luz, Devdasi,
Sachidanand,
Cecilia,
Jai
Paulina,
Jai
Sachidanam.
Sachidanand, Shura, Jai
Celia.
Sachidanand.
Oh, so wonderful. Okay. Uh, yes. And so let us begin with the three mantra. All right.
Vamos a comenzar con el Trimantra.
Who wants to sing the three mantra?
¿Quién quiere cantar el Trimantra?
Gaby canta.
Okay.
O Ceci canta, no sé. ¿Ceci?
All right. So,
Dale.
all right. Let us start.
Gaby canta.
Okay, Gavi canta and Cecilia canta inside. All right. Canto and canta.
Namo Vitragai, Namo Harihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Loye Savasahunam, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Savapavanashano, Mangalanam Cha Savesim, Paramam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Satchitanand. Namo Vitragaya. Namo Harihantanam. Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Loye Savasahunam, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Savapavanashano, Mangalanam Cha Savesim, Paramam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Satchitanand. Namo Vitragaya, Namo Harihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Vatsayanam, Namo Loye Savasahunam, Eso Pancha Namukaro, Savapavanashano, Mangalanam Cha Savesim, Paramam Havai Mangalam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Jai Satchitanand. Jai Satchitanand. Jai Satchitanand. Jai Satchitanand.
Jai Sachidanand
Jai
Shuddhatma.
Sachidanand.
Shuddhatma Bhagwan. That was beautiful, Gabi. Very nice. It was beautiful.
Hermoso, Gaby.
Yeah, it was beautiful because it has been offered with a lot of love, you see. It's offered with a lot of love, pure love.
Es hermoso porque lo cantaste lleno de puro amor.
The three mantras that are offered by our mahatmas are like that, you see. They are offered by those who are liberated from all the kashais and all the problems of this world, you see.
Yes. Los tres mantras ofrecidos son así. Son ofrecidos por todos los mahatmas que fueron liberados de los kashais y de los problemas mundanos.
Yes. Yeah. And we have this Guru Purnima coming. Isn't this beautiful? Like these Mahatmas are, they only want one thing, and that one thing is to grow more and more inside, not outside, inside, with reference to their own self, nothing else, own self.
Ahora viene el Grupo Mina y todos los mahatmas están deseosos de ir, no ir afuera, de ir adentro, de ir cada vez más profundamente dentro de su propio ser. Nada más que eso.
For millions of lifetimes, we had not known our own self, and now we know and we are experiencing the self, and that which is the non-self, we experience both, you see. We see the non-self and we experience the self. The more we experience the self, the more we can see the non-self for what it is, you see. And we have no fight with the non-self, We are naturally extricating ourselves from the non-self, you see, naturally.
Por millones de vidas no pudimos conocer nuestro propio ser. Y ahora experimentamos el ser y vemos lo que es el no ser y lo que es, y no nos peleamos con eso. Somos absolutamente naturales.
And when Gabi sings, so panchanamukaro, with these 5 namaskars of absolute surrender, Savvapavapanashano, every sin is destroyed. Every sin. Sin is darkness, can't see. That which happens in darkness, in the lack of light, is destroyed, you see, is destroyed.
Y cuando canta Gaby, que dicen Namo Savapagua eso
Mukaro.
Panchana Mukaro, Savapagua Panasano, todo lo que es oscuridad que tiene que ver con la falta, con la ignorancia, la falta de luz, es absolutamente destruido.
Mhm. Mhm. There is nothing called sin for we Mahatmas, you see. There is only my light, and in my light I see it as it is, you see. I see it as it is. It's, you know.
Para los mahatmas no hay absolutamente nada llamado pecado. Es desde la luz, veo lo que es.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. First thing first.
Beautiful,
This.
Shuddha, what you said, beautiful. Thank you.
Jai Sachidanand Shuddhatma Bhagavan. These are words that come. All these are of Dada's words. You see. In the chat, I'm going to share what I shared with some of you. We shared with Petri and Damian. This, this is the good news about. Is about the new July Dadavani. That is available now in English, you see. And so, this whole Dadavani of July, July is the Guru Purnima Dadavani, you see, is the title is I bow down my eternal namaskars to the Dada Bhagwan inside me. You see, this is the title of the Dadavani. The Dada Bhagwan that is inside me, my eternal namaskars, means my namaskars are from of the past, present, and future to this one.
Va a compartir el Dadavani de julio, que ahora está disponible en inglés, es el Dadavani del Grupo Mina, y el título es Yo me inclino y mis eternos namaskaros del pasado, presente y futuro a Dada Bhagwan en mí.
Yeah, and just to start this beautiful satsang, Patricia and I are going to just share a little bit, okay, of this with you. And let me see. And I know Patrick can handle it, so I'm just going to share it with you here. And
Yes.
there it is. Okay, so there it is. My obeisance means namaskars in the past, present, and future to Dada Bhagwan, the Lord within. You see.
El título es Mis namaskars en el pasado, presente y futuro al Dada Bhagwan, el Lord en mí.
Now, how can you? Yes, we can give present namaskars in the present and in the future to Dada Bhagwan. How can you give the namaskars to the Dada Bhagwan of the past? Well, this sentence is in our Charan Vedi. Dada Bhagwan, the first thing we say in our Charan Vedi is Dada Bhagwan, Trikard, Namaskar, Namaskar, Namaskar. Like we say that in our Charan Vedi, right?
Acá pregunta Ayuda cómo podemos darle los namaskars en el pasado, ¿no? En el presente y en el futuro, sí, pero como en el pasado. Pero bueno, esto está en nuestro Charan Vidi.
Yeah. Well, it's in a way trying to cover, what we could not see in ignorance too. In the past, we could not see. In the past, we were not aware of this magnificent Lord inside us, this God inside us. We were not aware of that, but just because we were not aware of Him, does not mean He did not exist. All our past lives, He has been with us, you see. In our past lives also, He has been with us and He has taken care of us, but we didn't know Him, you see. We did not know. To know means to experience, you see. To know means to experience, you see.
Yes. En el pasado nosotros no teníamos conciencia de él y no lo podíamos experimentar a Dadavan, pero él está con nosotros, siempre estuvo con nosotros, pero no teníamos conciencia. Ahora lo podemos experimentar.
To know is, if you touch your face, you see.
Si tú te tocas tu cara, por ejemplo.
If you touch your own face, when you close your eyes, you know this face. It's always there with you, Well, this face is there because of this Lord inside, you see. And once that Lord leaves, then this face is no more, you see. So this is how it is. This is the namaskars of the past to Dada Bhagwan, you see.
Si nosotros tocáramos nuestra cara, podríamos reconocerla. Y esta cara está por el Lord que está dentro nuestro. Y bueno, y en el pasado no lo podíamos ver.
This, Patricia will translate with you. I'm just going to say, read it sentence by sentence, you see.
Yes.
We do bow down to Dada's physical body, you see.
Nosotros nos inclinamos ante el cuerpo físico de Dada.
However, at the subtle level, Dada is in the state of Jagruti or awakened awareness, you see. And yeah, go on.
Y siempre, desde el sutil nivel, Dada está en el estado de Jagruti, que es la conciencia despierta.
And he's at the level of the agnas, the five agnas. These are the five instructions or directives that preserve this awareness as the self in Akram Vignan. You see? That is the subtle Dada. That is the subtle Dada, Bhagwan. You see?
Y Dada siempre está en el estado de Jagruti, que es de conciencia, y en las agnas, las 5 directivas, las principales para preservar la conciencia del ser en el Akram Vignan, siempre en el nivel sutil.
And beyond this subtle level, at the subtler level, there is the Gnani Purush, you see. And so there is the Dada's physical body, but at the subtler level now, the Gnani Purush, who constantly prevails in the state as the knower and seer, and has the direct experience of the self, you see. So, this is the subtler level, the third level inside, you see.
Y más allá de esto, en el nivel más sutil, está el Gnani Purush, que constantemente prevalece en el estado de conocedor y observador y tiene una directa experiencia del ser.
And looking at it even further, at the subtlest level, Dada is in the state of absolute knowledge or known as Keval Gnan. You see, Keval Gnan is the one who allows us to do this darshan of the state that is independent, absolutely independent, and in the state of the absolute self, you see. You see, so this is the fourth level, absolutely independent at the level of absolute knowledge, you see.
Ujú. Bueno, y mirando aún más allá, en el nivel más sutil, Dada está en un estado de absoluto conocimiento, que Valnan, aquel que permite, que nos permite a nosotros el estado de independencia, absoluto estado del ser, el absoluto estado del ser.
So it says that while bowing down to Dada Bhagwan, when we say Dada Bhagwan, you see, while bowing down to Dada Bhagwan, we should keep this state in the awareness that he is in the state of the physical body, in the state of the agnas, in the state of the Gnani Purush, and finally in the original state that has manifested within, that was manifested, that had opened up in him in 1958, you see. But, I say now, see, this is gone. So while.
Yes. Entonces, mientras que nosotros nos inclinamos ante Dadavan, él mantiene el estado de conciencia que lo lleva al estado del cuerpo físico, el estado de las agnas, en el estado del Gnani Purush y finalmente en el original ser que se ha manifestado completamente en él en 1958.
Now this original self, the final one, is Dada Bhagwan, you see. The final one is Dada Bhagwan, you see.
Y el ser original es Dadavan.
And by understanding the original state of Dada Bhagwan and bowing down to him with heartfelt reverence, his energies make their way into us. You see, this is how you get his energies, you see.
Y entendiendo el original estado de Dadavan y inclinándonos ante él, nosotros vamos a sentir y con una reverencia sentida, sus energías van a venir a nosotros.
Yeah, so whenever you bow down to Dada Bhagwan, you see, on Guru Purnima, which is coming up, you see, on that day, you see, then he is present as the original state. Then the Bhagwan, his full energies are there, you see. His full energies are there in this photograph that Dada. This photo is not just a photo, you see. He is present. He's present. This energy that manifests in 1958 is so powerful that it's going to last for many, 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 many years. But our role is to get our work done with these energies that are so prominently present now. They are within you through his agnas. They are within, they are growing within, and we need to grow with those energies through him, you see.
Yes. En el grupo Mina vamos a estar presentes y vamos a inclinarnos a Dadavan, al verdadero, y todas sus energías que fueron manifestadas en 1958 van a continuar por muchos, muchos, muchos años. Y cada vez que nosotros nos inclinemos ante a él, estemos inclinados desde el corazón, con amor, estemos en las sagnas, estas mismas energías también van a seguir creciendo. Esto no es solamente una foto de Dadavan, esta es su presencia, esta es su energía.
And he says, this Dada Bhagavan, I am the one, I am that original one, like Lord Rishabdev, you know, in the Gnani they say, Bhagavan Rishabdev Jevo Shuddhatma Chu, I am like the first Tirthankar Lord Rishabdev, I am, so when he's the same one, Bhagavan Mahavir Jevo Shuddhatma Chu, so it's the same one. They're like Lord Mahavir, and then Bhagwan Simandar Jevo Shuddhatma Chu. I'm like, I am pure soul like Lord Simandar, the same one, you see. I am pure soul, Bhagwan Jesus Christ Jevo Shuddhatma Chu. I am the same one, you see. You see, that same eternal, invisible one, you see.
Yes. Yes. Dice, yo soy como Lord Rushadev, como Lord Mahavir, como Lord Simandar, alma pura como Jesús, y soy el mismo eterno, el mismo eterno en todos ellos.
You see, there is no difference. It is these eyes and this intellect that separate it, but there is no difference at this level here, you see. So that is the darshan. That is the darshan of Dada Bhagwan. You see, that is the darshan of Dada Bhagwan. You see?
Yes. No hay absolutamente ninguna diferencia en este nivel, y este es el darshan de Dadavan.
And that darshan continues to grow within his mahatmas through this exact understanding, which is purely scientific. It is a scientific understanding. You see, it is not, it begins with the unfolding of the punya, the merit karma of infinite past lives, you see, and the meeting with the Gnani, you see, that the Gnani Purush, you see, it begins. That is how it begins. Merit karma from past life and the connection with the Gnani, you see, and it opens up.
Los mahatmas continúan creciendo en este científico entendimiento y comienza con el karma meritorio de infinitas vidas pasadas y finalmente con el encuentro del Gnani Purush comienza.
Yeah, and this
el darshan.
Yeah, the darshan. And this is it. I'll give you one more because this is a lot inside. There is so many things, but we just go here. And of course, we do darshan of our Dada. He's saying Jai Sachidanand. He's about to have his meal, And that is our dearest Dada, Gnani Purush Dadashri. And yeah, go and translate this.
Este es Dada, el darshan de Dada, y él continúa.
Yeah, this and then you see, it'll just the questioner it starts. You okay? Are you all right? Something. Yeah.
I can't hear.
Patricia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Here I am.
The questioner says, Dadaji. Jai Sachitanand, you see. And Dadashri replies, yes, Jai Sachitanand. And then he himself is asking, who are you bowing down to? Is it to the Vitarag Lord? It is to the Vitarag Lord, the absolutely detached Lord, isn't it? Well, that is good. When you say Namo Vitaragai, just like whatever dear Gabi said just a while ago, which Vitragai bow to the ones who are absolutely free from attachment and abhorrence, it reaches the original self. It reaches anyone who is Vitrag. You see, it reaches the original Ama. Namo Vitraga, you see. Okay.
Le pregunta, dicen, Dada, sí, Jai Sachitanan. Y Dada dice, sí, Jai Sachitanan. ¿Ante quién tú te estás inclinando ahora? ¿Es al ser Vitarag, al absolutamente desapegado Lord? ¿Es así? Bueno, entonces eso es bueno cuando tú dices Namo Vitaragai. Yo me inclino a que aquel que está absolutamente libre de todo apego y aversión y ha alcanzado el estado del ser original. Alcanzó, alcanzó el estado de Vitarag, absolutamente libre de apego y aversión.
My dear friends, that same vitrag exists in each one of us, and in everyone, every human being that you meet. The difference is in us all, he has opened up a little bit. The curtain has been removed. And in the one on the street, he is covered up. The curtain is totally there, you see. But that doesn't mean that he does not exist behind the curtain. He's there. He's there in the beggar on the street and the fighter on the street and the one who is walking peacefully on the street. He is present in all of them, you see. That Vitrag is on of them. So this Namo Vitragai is not only just for that one, of course, but you can say everywhere. You can see and know that he is present everywhere. You see.
Yes. El Vitarag está en todos. La diferencia es que en los mahatmas se han corrido los velos, las cortinas han sido corridas. Eso no quiere decir que en los demás no esté el Lord Vitarag. El Lord Vitarag está en los mendigos, en las personas que caminan por la calle, en cualquier ser. Namo Vitarag también está en el interior de absolutamente todas las personas.
So, by studying this Dadavan of July 2022, in your own time, your love for your own Lord, not your love for your own Lord, will increase. And that is the essence of the satsang of Dada. That is the essence of the company of Dada, you see. Dada doesn't say love me, he says love the Lord within you that has awakened. I have awakened that Lord within you. Now you need to know him more and more and more and more, you see.
Yes. Estudiando este Dadavani de julio, lo que va a lograr es que mi amor por el Lord en mí crezca y crecerá. Y esa es la esencia del satsang, ¿no? El amor por la intención de Dada es que el amor del Lord que está en ti se despierte, y porque yo dice lo desperté para ti. Entonces, conócelo y ámalo.
And besides knowing this Lord, and apart from knowing this Lord more, there is nothing else left for you and I to do, because the doing part is under the governance and the exact control of scientific circumstantial evidences, you see. So there's nothing else remaining for you and I to do, you see. Ours is the role to come closer and closer and higher, go higher and higher in this awareness of Dada Bhagwan, or my own self, you see. Dada Bhagwan is not something separate from me. Dada Bhagwan is who I am. See? Who I am.
Además de conocer más profundamente el Lord, sabemos que el conocedor ve que todo está bajo la influencia del gobierno de las evidencias científicos circunstanciales. Entonces, para nosotros ahora no queda nada, nada queda para hacer, solamente acercarnos y elevarnos a este conocimiento de Dada Bhagwan, de mi propio ser, de quién verdaderamente soy.
It's Dada Bhagwan is who I am is the final state of a Mahatma. It's every Mahatma is going in that direction only. Every Mahatma, whether he is in Brazil or in Spain or in Morocco or wherever that Mahatma is, it's just a matter of time now.
Yes. Dadavan es quien verdaderamente soy. Es el estado final de todo Mahatma, de cualquier parte del mundo que esté habitando.
So July is a month of Dada, Guru Purnima, because it's Guru Purnima month, you see. And when you enter July, you say, wow, this month is special because this is the month of my Dada. This is every day you try to be more and more with him. If you move away from your own self, you suffer, you see. Moving away from yourself and becoming Solange or Cynthia or Maritza, you suffer, and the moment you come home, you're fine, you're just fine, you're okay.
Julio es el mes de Dada. Julio es el mes de Guru Purnima. Por eso es el mes de Dada, de estar todo más y más con él. Porque cuando nos alejamos del ser, sufrimos. Y cuando nos volvemos al hogar, estamos felices.
Okay, so Vishuddhatma Bhagavan. So now let us go to let us go to the next part now. And that is
The last Wednesday we done Sutra. Yes,
so
2958.
yes, so now we have to do we alternate, so we don't go into Vyavasthit, of course, but
Okay.
so we go into this Dadavani of July 2010, yes, and page 42. The reason is this is the one that this is the Dadavani of the flawless vision, you see, of the flawless vision. So we, so that we balance it a little bit. And then if there is a satsang this Saturday, which I don't know, I will find out. Well, Patricia and I will let you know.
Yes, I'll tell you now. Now, 1st of July, we are going to have a satsang with you. 1st of July. Next Saturday, there is not going to be a satsang, and then again, July 16, we are going to have satsang again with you. Now, on Saturdays, I am talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. All right. So,
I'll write you then.
okay. All right.
I sent you a message.
All right. Okay. So we have
Yeah,
one more satsang before.
she told us this
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
information.
Good. Okay. So we'll have one more satsang. Okay. So so we will see, we will see what unfolds on July 1st. But let us talk about this one here today, which is the beautiful Dadavani of July 2010, and on on Vyavasth, on not on Vyavasthit, on the flawless vision, on the flawless vision. Okay.
Yes. Ahora vamos a hacer, para intercambiar un poco, la Dadavan de julio de 2010 de la visión impecable.
Okay. And here we go. The internal evidences create the result.
Las evidencias internas crean el resultado.
The actual heading in the Gujarati Dadavani is, if the internal evidences do not change, then what happens? Okay.
El título en Gujarati sería: si las evidencias internas no cambian, ¿qué pasaría?
There is a we will come back to that, internal evidences. You see, there are external evidences, and then there are internal evidences, both separate from us. You see, both are separate
Hay
from us.
evidencias internas y hay evidencias internas y hay evidencias externas, y ambas están separadas de nosotros. Ahora después vamos a volver a esto.
Internal evidences are mind, chit, intellect, ego. You see, internal evidences.
Bueno, las internas son, las evidencias internas son el intelecto, la mente, el chit y el ego.
Questioner, does that mean that we're the ones who ruin everything? Now, this is in the link of all the previous stuff. You see, internal changes. You see, if I just go a little bit above, let's read the last paragraph. Internal changes and reactions, otherwise known as effects or parinam, do occur within you, do they not? Changes and reactions like, he's a useless fellow, a person, he has no sense, he wasted my trip. Such are the changes that occur within you. Therefore, when you go with him again to collect your money, this is about the man who doesn't return your money, you see. Therefore, when you go to him again to collect the money, he will curse you. You have given him the money, but he curses you. On the other hand, no changes take place within us. So, then where is the problem? When changes occur within, then initially, even if the other person was not going to get upset and become obstinate, he will. This is a very powerful sentence, okay? Go on, read this.
Los cambios y las reacciones internas, los efectos ocurren dentro de ti, ¿no es así? Los cambios y las reacciones, como Él es un inútil, me hizo venir inútilmente, ocurren dentro de ti. Por lo tanto, cuando vuelvas a buscar el dinero, está hablando de una persona que te debe dinero, él te insultará. Dentro nuestro no suceden cambios. Entonces, ¿dónde está el problema? Cuando hay cambios en nuestro interior, entonces desde el principio, aun si la otra persona no iba a molestarte y volverse obstinada, lo hará, lo hará. Y es una frase muy importante, muy fuerte.
Okay. So those are the internal evidences, you see.
Estas son las evidencias internas.
Internal evidences either changing or internal evidences do not change, you see. And this, he is a useless person, he has no sense. These are all opinions, you see. And he wasted my trip, you see. Another wrong vision, he wasted my trip, you see. He is
Cuando,
doing it, you see.
decir que una persona es inútil, que no tiene sentido, que hace, todas estas son opiniones. Y cuando dice me hizo perder un viaje, esto me lo está haciendo a mí. Y acá estamos hablando de las evidencias internas.
So the two examples, internal evidences of they do not change versus even evidences change. This so let us talk about now this heading which says, what if the internal evidences do not change otherwise, you see? And example,
¿Qué pasa si
somebody,
las evidencias externas no cambian? Yes,
yeah.
continue.
Example is somebody in the pub, you and your friends, Patricia, are going for a walk in your city, and you are having fun, and somebody from across the street shouts and uses some bad words against you, you see, and so, and if your internal evidences do not change, you see. So the one of two things can happen. Your internal evidences change or your internal evidences do not change, correct?
Yes. Por ejemplo, vemos, ¿no? Estoy caminando por la calle con amigas y estamos divirtiéndonos. Si alguien de la vereda de enfrente me grita o me insulta, y pueden pasar dos cosas, que mis evidencias internas cambien o que no cambien.
So say Patricia becomes angry and upset and shouts something back to that person, then Patricia's evidences have changed. Now, and on that basis, the questioner is asking, does that mean we ourselves are the ones who ruin everything?
Entonces, por ejemplo, Patricia se enoja y le contesta algo feo. Y a raíz de eso viene la pregunta, ¿eso significa que somos nosotros quienes lo arruinamos todo?
And the Dadashri replies, we are verily the ones who ruin that which is ours. We are ruining that which is ours, our beautiful world. We are the ones who are ruining it. Whatever obstacles we encounter in life, we have created them for sure. What is the way to improve a person who is obstinate and objectionable and obnoxious? No matter how much pain or dukh a person causes you, if you do not harbor any negative feelings for him, negativity towards him, negative opinions for him, then that is the best way to improve him. In that way, he will improve and things will improve for you too. But worldly people will not refrain from having negative thoughts about such a person. We, the Mahatmas, are told to settle with equanimity. This is very settled with equanimity. With equanimity means we should not have any kind of thoughts about him. All right, let you read this now.
Yes. Sorry, it's too small.
Sorry. All right. Okay, let me just make it larger. Hold on. All
Yes.
right. Is that better now? Is that better,
Yes, yes,
Patricia?
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you. Tadashi dice, verdaderamente somos nosotros quienes no lo arruinamos, lo que es nuestro, y hemos creado con seguridad cualquier obstáculo que encontramos. ¿De qué manera mejorar a una persona que es obstinada y objetable? No importa cuánto dolor alguien te cause. Si no alberga sentimientos negativos hacia él, ese será el mejor modo de mejorarlo. De esa manera, él mejorará y las cosas también mejorarán para ti. Pero la gente mundana no se abstendrá de tener pensamientos negativos de tal persona. A nosotros, los mahatmas, se nos indica resolver con ecuanimidad. Con ecuanimidad significa que no debemos tener ninguna clase de pensamiento sobre la otra persona.
This equanimidad is simply there when you say or when you don't say, but you have this internal awareness, eu so amapura, soyamapura. That's equanimity.
Ecuanimidad es cuando no decimos nuestro conocimiento es yo soy alma pura.
If pratikraman, that is to ask for forgiveness from the pure soul of the one you have hurt, or the person who is hurting you, both ways, okay? Either you have hurt or the other person is hurting you. Like this man on the street that we talked about with Patricia. If pratikraman, that is coupled with remorseness of the wrongdoing, okay? And now, of course, you don't know, you haven't hurt, but especially when you have hurt and you have remorse of that wrongdoing, okay, is done for a tiger even, the tiger will do what you tell him. There is no difference between a tiger and a human. The difference lies in your vibrations, spandan. That has an effect. It affects the other being. As long as you have in your mind the awareness that the tiger is a violent animal, then it will be violent. And if you have the awareness that the tiger is a Shuddhatma, pure soul, then it is Shuddhatma for sure. Everything is possible. Everything is possible. The tiger is considered one of the most dangerous animals in India, you see.
Si haces practikraman, pedir perdón desde el alma pura de a quien has herido, junto con el arrepentimiento de haber causado el dolor. Por un tigre, aún el tigre hará lo que tú digas, lo que le digas. No hay diferencia entre un tigre y un humano. La diferencia yace en las vibraciones. Eso tiene un efecto. Siempre que tengas en la mente la conciencia de que el tigre es un animal violento, será violento. Y si tienes conciencia de que el tigre es Shuddhatma, alma pura, entonces claro que es un Shuddhatma y todo es posible. Y agrega Shuddha que el tigre es considerado un animal muy violento en India.
But there are human beings who are like tigers, who are highly violent, you see. And Dadashri is putting the entire energies into not the vibrations of that violent man, but what kind of vibrations are you having inside you about him, you see?
Y acá pone mucho énfasis dada en que no son las vibraciones de la otra persona, sino qué clase de poner atención en qué clase de vibraciones tengo yo hacia la otra persona o animal o lo que fuera. Ver cómo yo vibro con respecto al otro.
Vibrations, your vibrations, not what he is like, what he is, you see. Now, moving further, all of these sentences underlined by our current Gnani Purush Dadashri, these are keys to flawlessness. It's number 6, number 7, etc. in this particular heading of today, you see. Number 6, coming up to number 6. When you throw a ball, by its intrinsic nature or swabhav, it will stop bouncing. When you throw a ball down, its nature is finally it will rest on the floor. That is natural. That is a natural attribute of. This is where the whole world's efforts are wasted. People try to stop or change the effects while the causes continue. Thus, the cycle of a seed from a tree and a tree from the seed continues. Nothing is attained by cutting off the leaves or the branches of the tree. The work is done only if the tree is removed along with its roots, you see. And here in Akram Vignan, we place a medicine in the taproot, the main root system. Thereafter, the entire tree dries up and dies.
Cuando tiras una pelota, por su naturaleza intrínseca, dejará de rebotar. Ese es el atributo natural. Aquí es donde se desperdician los esfuerzos del mundo entero. La gente trata de detener o de cambiar los efectos mientras las causas continúan. De este modo continúa el ciclo de que la semilla cae del árbol y el árbol crece de la semilla. Nada se alcanza arrancando las hojas o cortando las ramas del árbol. El trabajo se hace solo si arrancas el árbol de raíz. Aquí en el Akram Vignan ponemos una medicina en la raíz primaria y el sistema principal de las raíces. De ahí en más el árbol entero se seca y se muere.
This life is a tree that grows and grows, life after life. It's kind of this life that we know. It grows. We think it only grows in this life. No, it grows life after life. It produces sweet fruits as well as bitter ones. And you're the one who has to eat them.
Esta vida es un árbol que crece y crece. Frutos dulces como amargos. Y tú eres quien debe comerlos, perdón.
When monkeys come and destroy all the mangoes on the tree, how far will the owner's internal reactions spoil? Owner's reactions spoil inside. He will be so disturbed that without even thinking about the future, he will say, this problem will be solved only if I cut this tree down. Now, will such words that come out in the presence of God within go to waste? Here, correction, there is no problem, there should be a T here, there is no problem if there are no resulting changes within. Everything will be calm, everything will come to an end.
Cuando vienen los monos y destruyen todos los mangos en el árbol, ¿hasta dónde llegarán las reacciones del dueño del árbol? Estará tan perturbado que sin siquiera pensar en el futuro dirá, este problema se resuelve solo derribando el árbol. Ahora se desperdiciarán tales palabras como que surgen en la presencia del Dios interior. No hay problema, si no hay cambios resultantes internos, todo estará en calma, todo llegará a su fin.
If you decide just this, that when someone causes you pain and suffering or steals from you, then it is nobody's fault, but it is my fault. If you accept the fact that it is all due to your own unfolding past karma, then liberation is yours. Liberation is yours if you do not see others at fault, but instead, people do exactly what they are not supposed to do. They accuse others by saying, he did this to me, he stole from me, etc.
Si decides solo que cuando alguien te causa dolor y sufrimiento o te roba, no es culpa de nadie más que tuya. Si aceptas el hecho de que todo se debe al despliegue del propio karma pasado, la liberación es tuya. La liberación es tuya si no ves a los demás en faltas. Pero en lugar de eso, la gente hace exactamente lo que no debe. Acusa a otros diciendo, me hizo esto, me robó, etc.
So, we come to this magnificent, beautiful further analysis of the internal state, what's going on inside, and the changes that happen within each one of us. Yes.
Esto nos lleva a ver qué es lo que sucede dentro de nosotros y lo que pasa, los cambios que se producen.
Yes, Paulina. Paulina has raised a hand. Yes, my dear.
Paulina, ¿tienes una pregunta?
Sí, tengo una pregunta.
Ajá.
Hace un rato llamó mi hijo porque está enfermo y tenía que trabajar, y como yo no le contesto lo que él quiere, él me insulta y me dice que soy estúpida, que no sé nada. Y es una constante que ha sido del mismo maltrato de su padre hacia este archivo 2. ¿Qué hago? Yo al final, si me trata mal, yo le digo no puedo seguir hablando y corto el teléfono. Pero ¿cómo lo resuelvo? Me cuesta.
Yes. Paulina said it happens, her son calls her and said that he was ill and he is not going to work. And when Paulina answers and his son doesn't like what she says, he gets angry and shouts to her. The same that happens with her husband, and she don't. She's asking for knowledge for resolve this.
Yes, Paulina, the answers are right here in front of us.
Paulina, acá las respuestas están frente a nosotros.
Yes, it is this arguments and all of this hurt that happens in this life is not happening outside our home, you see, with other people. It happens with people that we love and are with us around us, you see.
Las discusiones y cómo nos herimos en esta vida, esto sucede dentro del hogar, no sucede afuera, y sucede con las personas que amamos.
Yes. Now, has yours one question? Has your husband taken the Gnanviti?
No.
No. And how about the
No.
son?
He is my ex-husband.
Okay, so it's ex-husband.
Because he had me, no sé, I don't know how to say,
He
pegar.
abused you. He abused you.
Oh, yes.
And
Psychology
so,
and
yes.
physical.
But you here, so
and he abused to my children, my
children
3 child.
And so, but then are you still around him? Is he still with you, or what's going on?
¿Él está todavía con vos? ¿Sigue alrededor tuyo todavía, Paulina? ¿Cómo?
No, no necesariamente, pero yo sí cuido a sus otros hijos y sí lo invité a pasar Navidad en mi casa para como un perdón. Yo no tengo relación con él ya, pero pasaron estos hechos que cuido a sus otros hijos de otro matrimonio porque también son abusados por él.
Oh, Paulina, she's not living with him. She tries to have the best relationship possible. She's taking care of the children he has with another marriage with another lady, and she invites him to for Christmas to try to make a better relationship, but he still abused not only her children, his own children of the other marriage too.
One of the fundamental words of Dada is this desire to improve others is the problem, you see. You cannot improve anyone else, you see. You have to improve yourself only, and the words to improve and the exact prescription to improve yourself are what we read today in this beautiful Dadavani, Paulina.
Yes. Las palabras de Dadashri es que lo fundamental no es el deseo de mejorar a otros, no. Lo fundamental que dice Dada es que tú te mejores a ti mismo. Y hoy hemos estado viendo las palabras de Dada de la visión impecable.
How old is your son?
¿Qué edad tiene tu hijo?
27.
All right, so he's an adult now, and he has his own life. Is he living with you, or is he not living with you, your son? Okay, so
No.
all right, so then.
Let me please. Le pregunta a Shuddha qué edad tiene 27 y no vive con Paulina. Gracias.
So does he earn his own money and makes his own living, or do you have to support him?
¿Él gana su
No.
propio dinero o tenés que mantenerlo?
Él vive con su trabajo, pero el padre lo ayuda económicamente y eso lo hace mantener esclavo del padre.
Okay. Oh, he works by his own, but his father gives him money, supports with money, and that makes him that relation makes her son a slave from his father.
Well, see, the problem is not, if you can see that it is the way you see this that is the problem. You see, not, his father is taking care, your ex-husband is taking care of your son, and the matter stops there. You are in your own home. You should not be having all of this other complicated visions that your son is under the, is a slave to the father, etc., etc. That is not your business anymore. You see, have to let go. You have to let go.
Yes. Sí, puedes ver que esta es tu forma de ver, ¿no? Que tu hijo, de ver a tu hijo como esclavo del padre, porque vos estás en tu hogar, y esta es la forma y la relación que tiene tu hijo con el padre. Entonces, déjalo ir, suéltalo.
If your son was 12 or 13 years old, that would be different matter, you see. But your son is an adult right now, and he has brought his own vyavasthit with him, his own life with him. You cannot change it. You can only send silent signals to his Amapura. You need to, your approach to this whole thing is through pratikraman. Dada talks about this pratikraman. There are a lot of things happening inside you, inside Paulina, not you, inside Paulina. A lot of negative things are happening, which is causing all of this, which does not let you come home, or it prevents your bliss, you see. You need to recognize that these are your effects, nobody else's, you see. Your karma effects, your internal vibrations that are wrong. You're entering into something that you shouldn't be entering into,
No interference, no?
No, she should recognize that the fault is of the sufferer. You need to read the book called The Fault is of the One Who is Suffering. You're the one who is suffering. Your son and the rest of the family are away from you and they're fine, you see. They're doing their thing. You are the one who is suffering. The fault is yours.
Ok, thank you. Si tu hijo tuviera 12 o 13 años, Paulina sería otra cosa diferente, pero él ya es adulto y él también trajo todos sus yavastit, ¿no? Y son suyos y no los puedes cambiar. Solo puedes mandarle silenciosas señales internas de amor y de paz. Pero también están los pensamientos de Paulina que suceden adentro y que te hacen retirar del estado de dicha, ¿no? Son tus vibraciones, tu forma de ver estas cosas como errores, y esto te alejan de tu ser y te producen sufrimiento. Y recomienda ayuda, ¿no? Que recuerda esto, que la falta es del que sufre, porque al final después todos hacen lo que tienen que hacer, están afuera y están bien, y vos estás sufriendo.
Yeah.
También dice que puedes hacer practikraman.
Yeah, see, you see this, read the book, The Fault is of the Sufferer. It's a tiny little book. It's available in Spanish.
Yes.
It is magnificent, and recognize that the suffering is, recognize that it is not I am suffering, it is Paulina suffering because of this wrong approach to the family that she cares about. You see, she still cares about the ex-husband or the son or everybody, but you know, the way you go about trying to change it is wrong, absolutely wrong. Dada shows it in this today's reading, you see.
Te recomienda que lees el libro Las faltas del que sufre, está en español, y esto te puede ayudar a reconocer que es Paulina la que sufre, ¿no? Estás tratando de cuidar o de cambiar a tu ex, a tu hijo, y de ninguna manera vas a poder hacerlo.
You see, so you are not suffering. You are Amapura. You say, not I am Amapura. I am blissful. Now, Paulina, you got a problem. You talk to Paulina like your own daughter and say, Paulina, what's going on? They're not even in your home and you're so upset. Just, you know, so now follow Dada and say, oh, you know, Dada says, every time they come into your space, whether it is your son, your ex-husband's current wife, whoever it is, start with the Pratikraman, Paulina, do Pratikraman, see the Ramapuras, you know. This is an account from past life, and you are perpetuating it, you know, you are not letting it go. You are the problem, not they, you see. That's the only answer.
Yes. Em, tú eres alma pura, Paulina, y lo que tienes que preguntar es a Paulina, Paulina, ¿qué es lo que te pasa? Y háblale como si fuera tu hija. Paulina es la que está sufriendo. Ellos ni siquiera están en tu casa y tú eres la que sufre. Y si vienen a tu casa, trata de verlos como alma pura y haz practicar si te surge alguna molestia. Y todo esto que está sucediendo es algo que lo trajiste de vidas pasadas y no lo perpetúes, soltalo, porque si no lo
Yeah.
perpetúas.
Yeah, you know, my dear, this, you know, this example of the ball, you know, and the ball, when the ball was thrown down in the last life, you see, when the ball is thrown down, you know, when you throw a ball down, it doesn't just go on the floor and remain there. It comes down and then it comes down and then it comes down and up and down and up and down and up. And what you're seeing in this life, is what you're seeing in this life is it happening again and again. Every time it bounces, you're saying, why it's happening? Why is it happening? And what you're doing is you're hitting it again. You're hitting the ball again. You're hitting the ball again. Human beings, every human being by nature inside is blissful, has got an amapura inside. Nobody likes the fights, nobody likes all of this nonsense, but you know, they keep on doing this. You did it, you're the one, you know, and it just keeps on. Everybody keeps on hitting each other's balls. Now we say, this is the ball of Paulina, this is the reaction from past life. And if I accept it, it's my ball, you know. It's nobody else is the reason why this is happening. Then you begin to come home. You see, you begin to be blissful, my dear. And then your son will get the positive vibrations, you see. Mama is my mama, you know, my mama. Whether he is 50 years old, he will still have love for mama. When he is 75, he will say, Mama, you know. But it's these palabras that really cause a lot of damage, you know.
Yes. Cuando la pelota fue tirada en la vida pasada, la pelota no cayó al piso directamente, rebotó. Y lo que ves ahora es lo que sigue rebotando, sigue sucediendo nuevamente. Y tú es como que la golpeas, entonces esto hace que vuelva a seguir rebotando. Y esto sucede por las peleas, por las tonterías de culparse unos a otros. Y ahora ahora aprendimos que esta es la pelota de Paulina. Y cuando aceptas que esta es tu pelota, entonces comienzas a cambiar. Y cuando tú comienzas a cambiar, también comienza a cambiar la otra persona. Y tu hijo, tenga la edad que tenga 13, 27, 30, 50, mamá va a decir,
Mhm. And this
siempre
is,
vas a hacer las palabras, y son
yeah,
las palabras las que lastiman.
yeah. But you know, when he comes and hugs you at Christmas time, Mama, and he kisses you, Mama, Mama, you forget all of these things. And then again, your attachment, Paulina gets attached, and then again, she tries to change him, or this is how it is, you see. This, and you need to start seeing you need to see more and more about who you are in all of this, you see. You know, today they are nice, and then tomorrow they will not be nice. You see, this is how the world is. You call them mine, but this is not your world. This is Paulina's world, you see.
Yes. Y cuando llegue Navidad, va a venir y te va a abrazar y te va a decir que te quiere mucho, vas a volver a pegarte y vas a querer volver a cambiarlo. Entonces tienes que ver quién eres tú en todo esto. Esto no es tu mundo, es el mundo de Paulina.
Mm-hmm. Yes, these
Thank
words,
you.
yes, my dear, these words of Dada, even just what we read today and the paragraph before it, if you read this too in this flawless vision, there is so much, so many keys. You know, you ask, what shall I do? And the answer is, you don't have to do anything. It is because you're trying to do that it is complicating it. Try and understand. Take this understanding of Dada inside. Dada is making you understand what is going on with Paulina. You know, you need to see and receive that understanding, you see.
Las palabras que estuvimos leyendo hoy de Dada son palabras que son llaves y no se trata de que tengas que hacer, no hay nada que hacer, no tienes que hacer nada, solamente entiende qué es lo que sucede en Paulina.
You see, you know, he didn't, yes, in the world will say he abused Paulina, but you see, you know, you cannot make a sound with, you cannot clap with one hand. It takes two to make this sound, you see. And when fights happen, when the marriage is going beautifully, you know, you're lost in the illusion of the marriage, and then when things start happening, then you're like this, and you're like this, and you're like this, and you're like this. And that is the story of the life of every couple in this world. It is not just Paulina's story, it is the story of every relationship between a man and a woman, you see. And no exception, absolutely no exception. The only ones who become free are the ones who get graced by this knowledge that, am I suffering? Then it's my fault. That's it, my fault. If I'm not suffering, I'm okay. You know, if I'm not suffering, I'm okay. But if I'm any suffering, any little suffering that happens, The fault is mine. Somewhere is my fault. You see. It is my dear. So thank you for sharing. But this is, this is a story of every couple in this world, whether they are married or divorced. This is even the people who are divorced. They, Indian couples who get divorced, Indians, ladies who get divorced after 50 years, they are still complaining about their ex-husband. After 50 years. You see, so what's going on? What is going on? And he has given her everything. You take everything. I don't want anything. She sees him with another woman, and that is something that she just absolutely cannot stand. You see, the fault is inside. The fault is inside.
Yes. Eh, él abusó de Paulina, ¿no? Entonces dice Shuddha que para aplaudir hacen falta dos manos. Con una mano no se puede aplaudir. Entonces esto tiene que ver con las ilusiones que uno tiene del matrimonio. Y esto le sucede a todos, la historia de vida de todos los matrimonios sin excepción. Y poder estar absolutamente consciente de que si sufro es mi falta. Hay matrimonios en India que por ahí se divorcian y 15 años después siguen peleando, ¿no? ¿Y por qué sucede esto? Si el marido le dijo, bueno, nos divorciamos, llévate todo, le dijo a la mujer, pero la mujer sigue peleando. Y el tema es que él tal vez esté con otra mujer y ella no lo puede soportar.
Yeah. If somebody says a few beautiful, sweet words to you, whether it is your own family member or somebody outside, that is your own punya, merit karma, opening up, and somebody hurts you through words, whether it is your own family member or outside, it is your own sin, karma unfolding. And Euso Amapura, Soya Amapura is the exact separation from both of these. These two are like clouds. They dark cloud and sun, and dark cloud and sun. They come and go. Don't understand where Dada has placed you and I, my dear. We are Amapuras.
Yes. Si alguien dice algo dulce, te dice algo dulce, amoroso, es tu puña, tu karma meritorio. Y si alguien viene y te dice algo feo, es tu karma de demérito. Pero tú eres alma pura y estás en la exacta separación, porque puedes ver que está la nube, el sol, en la nube, el sol, y Dada nos puso exactamente en el lugar de alma pura, más allá de todo.
Shuddhatma Bhagavan, let us all take about 10 minutes.
Thank you very
Yes,
much.
yes,
Thank
my
you.
dear. Yes, yeah. May Dada with you be with you. Yeah. We take 10 minutes and then we come back. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. 10 minutos de recreo y volvemos. Thank you, Shuddha.
Jai Satchidananda.
Jai Satchidananda a todos.
Okay, Patricia.
Yes.
Does anybody else wants to share anything, or have everybody understand this this last
¿Alguien más?
mhm.
¿Alguien quiere hacer alguna pregunta sobre esto que hemos estado leyendo? ¿Entendieron?
Yeah. There's there's a lot of information, a lot of beautiful information, and in fact, not more than information, knowledge that needs to be assimilated by us. If you receive something very precious, if you receive something very precious, you don't let it drop. You don't that you preserve it, and you begin to absorb the qualities of that precious thing. You see, yeah. If you don't just throw it away. Like ignorant people do. The awakened ones do not do that. You see.
Yes. Hemos estado leyendo esto que tiene una maravillosa información. Más que información es conocimiento. Este maravilloso conocimiento es para ser absorbido y no lo desperdicies. Solo los ignorantes lo desperdician. Presérvalo y absorbe todas las cualidades de esto que hemos leído.
Yeah. This in here that our dear Patricia read, you see, it's a wealth of information. In today's reading, we had 11 keys of liberation, 11 sentences that liberate us from that, from the complications of this very dangerous world. This world is very dangerous because if you're not careful, even simple words that you speak will be misinterpreted, and people get upset.
Yes. Hoy hemos estado leyendo esto que tiene 11 maravillosas llaves de liberación para poder vivir en este mundo que realmente es peligroso. ¿Por qué es peligroso? Porque cada palabra que decimos puede ser malinterpretada o puede herir a otra persona.
This, when Dada says, you decide that whenever something causes you pain and suffering, or whenever it causes any disturbance within you, it is nobody else's fault, but it is my fault. That decision becomes absolutely exact when you become awakened in the Gnanvidhi. If you have had the Gnanvidhi, this thing is easy. When you have not had the Gnanvidhi, you have to decide, wow, I'm suffering, it's my fault, you see.
Dice que en estas palabras que si hay alguien que te causa dolor y sufrimiento o te roba, no es su culpa, solamente es tuyo. Si tú puedes aceptar esto, es como que ya estás libre. Y nosotros hemos recibido el Nanvidi y sabemos que si sufrimos es nuestra falta.
This sentence, that if there is a disturbance within me, if I am that causes me any suffering, then it is my fault. If this becomes established within a human being. He will attain moksha. He does not need the Gnanvidi. Nada has said even that. He says his moksha is guaranteed. His liberation is guaranteed. He will become free from suffering. You see.
Yes.
Mm.
Estas oraciones de que si estoy sufriendo es mi falta. Y Dada decía, si una persona cualquiera puede establecer que si estoy sufriendo es mi falta, va directamente a moksha y no necesita el Nalvidi y se volverá absolutamente libre.
Yeah, the intellect will say, but he is doing it. He is doing that. You see, the intellect will say the ex-husband is still controlling my son. You see, now that is not for us to see. The world is what it is. You see, if a person is causing problems for others, that effect will come to him or her sooner or later. Just as when you help somebody, you get a good effect. When you hurt somebody, you get a negative, painful effect. So, both these things, the cycle continues. This world is full of vibrations of positive and negative nature. You see, much more negative than positive.
El intelecto va a decir, mi ex maltrata a mi hijo, ¿no? Pero esto no es para nosotros. Cuando alguien insulta, maltrata o ese efecto va a volver de la misma forma negativa en que salió de él. Y si salen cosas que son de amorosidad, de ayuda, esto también va a volver en forma positiva a él. Y el ciclo continúa así. Esto sucede por las vibraciones.
Not only that, people of the world do not have prajna, the light of the self, you see, which allows you to see it in separate, allows you to see it in separation. It allows you to see it in separation and exactly how it is, you see, in an impartial manner, you see, separate from Paulina, Shuddha, etc. It's absolutely separate. And now you see, as it is. And that is the light of the self, prajna. But the intellect is so dangerous because it only makes you see the negative of the other person. Oh, he's like this, he's doing it this way, she is doing this way. Here, it does not let you come home. The role of the intellect is it blocks you from coming home to who you are, you see.
Yes. Nosotros tenemos la prajna, que es la luz del ser, que permite ver la separación, ¿no? Y cómo son las cosas, ¿no? Por ejemplo, Paulina está separada, Shuddha está separada, y ahora lo podemos ver. Y esto se debe a prajna, la luz del ser. El intelecto siempre solo va a ver lo negativo. Ese es el peligro del intelecto, que te bloquea el regreso al hogar.
Mm-hmm. This thing here, and that intellect is the reason why this life continues like a tree that never ends, you see. Just keeps on growing, you see. It's
Y acá dice, el intelecto es como este árbol que siempre continúa creciendo.
right vision, the vision, not right vision. I'm talking about intellect that has turned in the right direction. Right vision is vision of the self. You say, oh, so I'm apura, the other person is amapura. This has all karma effects. That is right vision, you see. Right understanding, you see. But right intellect is that which is a gift, you see. It's a gift that arises even if a person is not awakened, you see.
Yes. Em, la visión, no tener el intelecto en la correcta dirección es un regalo, aún en personas que no tienen el conocimiento, la conciencia. No, yo soy alma pura, tú eres alma pura, todos somos alma pura y todo lo que sucede son evidencias. Esa es la correcta visión.
This example of the ball is very magnificent, you see. This example, but you know, what is not clear, what is not complete in this particular example here is that this throwing of the ball began in the last life for each one of us. You know, I hate him, I hate him, you see, or you know, I never want anything like this. That is when the ball was thrown. The intention and the force and the flow in the force with which you throw the ball, you see, down the, you know, that intention, you know, that carries on into the next life. If you throw it lightly, it's like, oh, I don't like it, leave it alone. Oh, I hate it. So now there is that much force inside that is already been built up in the last life, and then in this life it will keep on happening over and over again, and you and I now are supposed to just see it. Don't enter into it. Don't excite it anymore, you see. Don't put your signature in it by saying this is happening to me. Otherwise you go like this, you see.
Yes. Yes. El ejemplo de la pelota es un ejemplo que es perfecto, pero hay algo que falta en esto, ¿no? Y es tirar la pelota, la tiramos en la vida pasada, pero ¿cómo la tiramos? Con la intención y con la fuerza, y con esa misma intensidad. Esa intención va a manifestarse en esta vida. Si tiraste la pelota en una forma liviana, va a venir en forma liviana. Pero si la tiraste la pelota con enojo, con odio, con fuerza, y tu intención es de que no, que la peor, entonces de esta forma va a estar llegando nuevamente a nuestra vida. ¿Cuál es la única solución posible? Es no entrar ahí, no firmar, esto no es para mí, esto no es mío. ¿No? Como
You know, negative thoughts will arise. You know, you are perfectly happy person in, you know, in a relationship with a man or a woman in your life, and you see something very attractive outside another person, another human being, you know, now those things will arise when this is from the past life. Again, don't say this is happening to me. You might get attracted to that other person, you see, but you do not want to put your signature by saying that this is happening to me. That is the beginning of bouncing the ball again, getting swept up into this tree of life, you see, the sansar, you know, into this more complications in your life, you see.
Por ejemplo, existe una buena pareja, ¿no? Y de repente aparece otra persona con la cual se siente atraído, y entonces ahí surgen pensamientos negativos. Pero esto es algo que viene de una vida pasada. Se inició en la vida pasada.
second signature is under the second signature. The first signature was made through intentions in the last life. The contract was already written, they created, and the contract is being executed in this life. The movie is playing, and you cannot say it's all a movie and I'm disconnected. It's important in certain situations of extreme temptations where you don't put your signature again, you know. You don't put your signature again. The signature is under, the pen is in your hand. The pen is in your hand. You might get swept away, but after it's happened, after it has happened again, you need to know who you are. This was not your intention. This is not who you are, you see.
La primera firma se puso en la vida pasada, se firmó en la vida pasada. La segunda firma, puede venir la situación, pero la lapicera está en tu mano para firmar. Entonces ahí es recordar quién soy, porque la tentación va a estar, pero la lapicera está en tu mano.
Shuddha, ¿puedo hacer una pregunta, por favor? Cuando se sucede la descarga y viene el momento desagradable, la vitamina para el ser, en ese momento, tradúcela hasta ahí, Pati, por favor, que si no después me voy a alargar.
Gabriel is asking when the discharge comes, that they are the vitamins for the self. Sí.
When the negative discharge is a vitamin for the self, the positive discharge means attractions, pleasant, that is a vitamin for the body, and you do not want to give any more vitamin to the body anyway. You see, I mean, in other words, Dadashri says that's where you need to be a little bit more careful. If it is your, and if it comes to you naturally, enjoy it. Enjoy it, you see. Enjoy the beautiful mango that comes to you, and it's, you know, and its juice along with a piece of chapati, you know, which is Radha's favorite, you know, a piece of chapati, you know. You know, appreciate the beauty of the mango, you know, appreciate it, enjoy it, you know. If it comes to you naturally, enjoy it. If it is not really yours, then you have to be very careful. You know what I mean, right, Gabi?
Cuando dice Shuddha que cuando vienen las vitaminas para el ser, después vienen las vitaminas para el cuerpo, ¿no? Y ella dice que lo último que queremos es seguir alimentando el cuerpo. Y hay que ser muy cuidadoso. Espera que te traduzco lo que él dijo.
Perdón.
Y cuando vienen las vitaminas para el cuerpo, que seas muy cuidadosa. Si las cosas vienen de forma natural, disfrútalo, ¿no? Dice como si viene, a él le gustaba el mango, el chapati, el jugo. Y bueno, si viene de forma natural, disfrútalo. Y si no es tuyo, sé muy cuidadosa.
Lo que pasa es que Gaby, mi archivo 1 hace un tiempo tomó la decisión de integrar un grupo humano que ha sido un terreno fértil para que se despliegue todo mi karma más duro. Entonces ha vivido de todo, desde el insulto hasta sus propias descargas de todos sus kashais. Entonces, la pregunta es, viendo este terreno fértil que está ahí y que veo que yo no tengo ningún control, lo manejo, sobre lo que Gaby hace o dice, porque más allá de la intención que tiene muchas veces de callarse y de no decir y de no hacer nada, luego surge igual. La pregunta es, yo que veo esto, ¿debiese apartarme? Definitivamente ya apartar a Gaby de ese entorno, aun cuando yo sepa que el hacerlo va a generar un daño en Gaby de tipo económico.
Ok. A ver si me sale. Gabby is trying to create a space where all the discharge karma happens and there are insults and negative discharge of karma, and she sees what Gabby is doing or saying, but her question is, it's good for her to move away of that group, and one of the prizes
aun cuando sé que eso le va a generar un perjuicio a ella en términos
she knows
económicos.
that she's going to lose money going away from that space.
Yeah, ma'am, my dear, you have been lifted up in such a magnificent place of awareness that you know what is right for Gabi and what is hurtful for Gabi, you see. You therefore, you have a lot of advance warnings coming through inside, inside. There is, I know there is excitement in going into dangerous places, but that is temporary, and
Yes.
and you really need to know who you are, and even in the relative realm, your role for Dada in this world of yours. You're a young woman. You've got a lot of energies. You can be such a significant force for Dada. So be with Dada and ask Dada for the energies to keep you away from such negative temptation environment. So that is why what comes naturally to you is important. You don't have to move in that direction. You see, that's different. Sorry, I spoke too much, my dear. Go ahead.
Okay. Dice que has recibido tanta dicha de conciencia, ¿no? Y puedes ver qué es lo que es bueno y qué es lo que no es bueno para Gaby. Y además recibes las señales internas, ¿no? Como los avisos, ¿no? Y a veces es excitante entrar en lugares que son peligrosos, pero ahí es donde debes recordar quién eres, ¿no? Y en lo relativo. Y vos sos una mujer joven, llena de energía, y pedile a Dada, dice Shuddha, que le pidas a Dada que te guíe para que puedas no entrar en espacios, ambientes negativos, no tengas la tentación de entrar en espacios negativos.
Yeah, yes, yeah, right. This awareness is there. It is different if the awareness wasn't there. Now we are all aware. And yet, the slippery places will come where it is very slippery, When it's very slippery, you remember Dada, I said, Dada, please, I know, it said, I know how you can tell Dada, I know how Gabi is. So please, in these situations, please help her, Help me help her. Help me help her, Dada. You see? And Dada is there. It's always there. You see, all of these things are when life is going good, these are rag situations, you know. In adversities and very difficult situations, of course, all of these things, you don't need, you're already protected, you move away. But in these are all, there is a very fine line between danger and temptation, you see. And you have to be careful there, you have to be careful, Yeah, the care is there, but you just, it's slippery ground, it's ground where it's, no matter how careful you are walking, you're likely to fall. That's where you become extra careful, That's where you become extra careful.
Yes. Dice, lo bueno, ¿no? Es que la conciencia está allí. Puedes, si te caes o puedes pedirle a Dada y decirle, yo sé cómo es Gaby y te pido que ayudes a Gaby y que me ayudes a mí. Y Dada siempre está allí, siempre estuvo y siempre va a estar. Entonces, en momentos de dificultades está la protección. El tema es que hay una línea muy delgada entre la tentación y lo peligroso. Ahí es donde debes de prestar mucha atención. Sabes que el camino puede ser resbaladizo, entonces tienes que ser muy cuidadosa.
Yeah,
Ayer,
uh-huh.
cortito lo último, pero para que todos veamos cómo opera Dada en la vida de nosotros y se anticipa estos satsang. Porque ahí yo estaba en las redes sociales y hubo un video donde mostraban a una niña acercándose a un tigre que andaba suelto en México, que se escapó, y todo el mundo arrancando del tigre, y la chica se acercó al tigre, y el tigre no le hizo nada, pasó al lado de ella. Y en ese momento lo que surgió en mí fue esa pregunta, es decir, qué increíble cómo de pronto uno puede estar al lado de las fieras y finalmente, dependiendo de cómo uno los vea, verdaderamente es lo que va a obtener de vuelta. Y Dada hoy día se manifestó absolutamente en todo lo que dijo, en toda mi ocurrencia del día de ayer. Maravilloso.
She's sharing that she saw what is amazing for her, that Dada is anticipating everything in all stats. And yesterday she saw a girl in Mexico. There was a tiger, and everyone was trying to hunt it. And a little girl walked to the tiger, and the tiger didn't do nothing to her. So in this satsang, it's something like that. The girl was not afraid, and the tiger did nothing to her.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah, it's all a result of our own vibrations, you see. And the one who has come home, the one who has found the ultimate blissful resting place, the Amapura, the Shuddhatma Bhagwan, you see. That is a place where there are no vibrations of any kind, positive or negative, you see. And that is where all of us are slowly rising to. All of us are getting more and more that way, you see. And the rest is... and in the rest of this world, whether it is exciting or not exciting, we are not like the other people of the world. We don't jump into it, or we don't become involved. We just, we remain superficial, we go to picnics and parties, but inside we are always Amapuras as the self, we are the blissful ones, and that has happened now for all of us, you see. That is very important. That is extremely worth pursuing more and understanding more, that no matter, all the dangerous and the difficult situations of life, whether there is an earthquake or whether there is a tsunami or whether there is, some serious riots on the streets, etc., those things are easy to remain separate from, but where the world is having fun, the carnivals and this and that, or and that is where we remain superficial. Now we don't need to run after that, you see, and that running has stopped for all of us, you see, because of the infinite bliss that exists within, you see. This, we have come home.
El resultado es la vibración que tenemos. El que llega al alma pura, Shuddhatma, Bhagwan, en ese estado no hay vibración ni positiva ni negativa. Y cada vez nos vamos volviendo más de esa forma. Si hay una excitación, no vamos a saltar. Estamos todos en alma pura. Entonces, es de extrema importancia estar en este conocimiento, y entonces no corremos a saltar porque estamos en una infinita dicha interior. Cuando hay desastres, cuando hay terremotos o hay cosas así, por ahí es fácil estar separado, pero en la vida mundana es a través del conocimiento que no nos involucramos.
This I'm aware that we have gone beyond time. There is a sentence of Dada that is applicable to what just Gabi mentioned. Do you want me to go into it now or next time? Whatever. Yes, I'm fine both ways.
Shuddha sabe que se pasó del tiempo, pero hay una frase que tiene que ver con esto que preguntó Gabi y nos pregunta si queremos que la comparta ahora o la próxima vez. Por favor, contesten.
Whatever, so let us, I know we have taken too much time, so let us...
No, please.
Please, yes.
Okay, so, all right, so it was in June 17th, 1970, okay? And Dada was in Mumbai, our dear Dada was in Mumbai, and he said this, he says that the circumstances will continue, the circumstances of life continue to change continuously. They continue to change continuously, you see. That is, that we all know, circumstances change continuously, right? That is, circumstances change continuously. This circumstance, my circumstance, everyone's circumstance is continuously changing, right? But in all of that, in all of them, there is the circumstance of Shuddha Hetu Yoga. And now this is a new phrase, pure intent goal. Okay, so now pure intent goal. Among all of those circumstances, there are certain circumstances where the highest intent goal exists. All right, let you translate this much. I've given you the sentence.
Yes. En junio 17 de 1970 en Bombay, Dadashri dijo: las circunstancias cambian continuamente. Las circunstancias de todas las personas cambian continuamente, pero en todo ello está la circunstancia de la más elevada pura intención de la meta, ¿no? Que exista la pura intención de la meta, la más elevada.
Yeah, and you know, and in all the other circumstances, I'm completing the sentence. Become the absolute ignorance here and remain superfluous. Us, in other words. So I'm clapping, and our dear Laura is giving you the translations, you see. So that this, while she's doing that, these circumstances, there's only two things. There is the amapura and the circumstances, you see. Now in the circumstances of life, which are continuously changing, what circumstance is the one that is worth getting involved in, totally involved in? And that circumstance is the circumstance which has got the purest goal intent. Purest goal intent. That's going to carry you towards your purest goal, which is amapura goal, you see. And that is satsang, you see. So, except for satsang, Dadashri says, everywhere else remain the knower and the seer of what is happening and remain superfluous. Don't go deep into it. Don't get involved into it, you see. All right. Yes, this, go on, my dear.
Yes. Y en todas las otras circunstancias, y también continúa la oración, y en todas las otras circunstancias, y permanece sin involucrarte. Esta dice dada el alma pura y las circunstancias. Y en la vida que cambian estas circunstancias todo el tiempo. ¿Y en cuál es la única circunstancia para involucrarse en la más pura meta, en la intención de la más pura meta, que es el alma pura?
Yeah.
Estar en satsang y mantenerte en el conocedor y el observador, y no involucrarte en ninguna otra cosa.
Now this picture, this photograph that you see in front of you is very special. Let me explain to you. This gentleman who is to the right of Dada is Chandrakant Bai, and Chandrakant Bai became famous because he was the first Mahatma who discovered that there is something special going on inside Dada in 1962, you see. And he begged Dada, make me like you, and Dada gave him the first Gnan Vidhi, you see.
Acá hay una foto de Dada y la persona que está sentado a su derecha es Chandrukai, y él fue en 1962. Y él fue la primera persona que se dio cuenta, que descubrió que había algo especial en Dada y le pidió que él quería ser como él. Y él fue el primero que recibió el Nanvidi.
Yeah, he was a well-to-do person who had his own business in Uganda, cotton factories, and then he, came to Vadodara, and that's where he met Dada. And he was a distant relative of Dada's, Dada's nephew's son, you see, grandnephew. In other words, he was a very distant relative of Dada,
Este Chandukai era de un señor de negocios que era de Uganda y tenía campos de algodón, fábricas de algodón, y cuando fue a Barodra lo conoció a Dada y tenía una relación familiar, era sobrino nieto de Dada.
So he's our big great Nimit. Unfortunately, he passed away at a young age, had a heart attack, Anyway, so the reason I show this photograph is because the sentence that I just shared with you was written to him by Dada. This is one of the rare sentences that Dada wrote to him. Dada himself says, I wrote to Chandrakant Bhai this sentence. You see, on this, he says, I wrote to Chandrakant Bhai that of all the circumstances, the only circumstance where you get involved in is the circumstance of the purest intent, which is the intent of the Amapura, you see. And that's exactly what each one of us are doing here today. We are deeply involved in this satsang, whereas all the other circumstances, you remain on the surface, don't take it seriously. Don't take it seriously. Just let it pass.
Yes. Esta oración la escribió Dada, Shandokai fue un gran mimimi para todos. Él partió joven de un ataque al corazón y Dada le escribió esto a Chandokai de la más pura intención, que es el alma pura. Y es lo que todos hacemos acá en satsang, ¿no? Todo lo demás, déjalo que se mantenga en forma superficial, déjalo pasar.
And we have to accept this as if Dada has written that to us, saying, Patricia, Gabi, Laura, don't get involved in anything else. This is, just do get involved in that which is going to take you to moksha, involved in the satsang of moksha, you see.
Yes. Y esto, acepta esto que dice Dada y no te involucres en lo que no te lleva a moksha, involúcrate en satsang, que te va a llevar a moksha.
Shuddhatma Bhagwan. Highest namaskars to each one of you here, Paramatma. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Thank you very much, Sudha.
Yes, Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
Cecilia. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand.
Yeah.
Thank
Grain,
Thank you.
Angelique,
Thank you.
Paulina, Solange, everyone, Suli, everyone. Yes, and Luz. All right, until we meet again. Jai Sachidanand.
Jai